So what exactly are the hardest parts of any project? Well, it's not got anything to do with losing screws when you're in the middle of something. Hi, I'm Nika Waters and welcome to the Boat Galley podcast. Today I'm talking about a revelation that I had the other day about boat projects. Although it probably applies to all kinds of projects, boat or not. Today's episode of the Boat Galley podcast is sponsored by Marmara Imports. Their hand-loomed, fair trade, organic cotton Turkish towels are highly absorbent, dry quickly, fold flat, and are soft and luxurious. In flat, they are perfect for life aboard. I know with our Marmara Imports towels, I had to hide them from the kids because they kept stealing them from me. And we wound up buying some for our daughter because we were tired of ours disappearing. Use coupon code PODCAST10 for 10% off any order of $40 or more. Marmara Imports, that's MARMARAIMPORTS.com. More than a towel. All right, boat projects. Kind of like any project, I've figured out what the hardest parts are. Well, starting them and then finishing them. Maybe you're different, like one of my readers who talked about how actually starting isn't the problem, it's finishing. But I digress a little bit. I'm thinking particularly of the galley. We talked for years, forever, about redoing the galley. I have sketches of sink cutouts and counter organization probably from 10 years ago. Actually, from longer ago than that, from maybe right before we decided to go cruising with the kids. We've debated what kind of storage is going where. We want to know where the new fridge was going. Actually, that old engine-driven fridge has been gone to the depths of the garage, and it's still sitting in storage, ready to be sold to the next bidder. But we got rid of that when we changed out the engine in 2012. We bought an ARB that has gone back and forth and has possibly been the absolute best purchase we ever made. We've used it on the boat, off the boat. It's gone with us on road trips and gone lots of places. It's gone back and forth from the quarter berth to the floor to the cockpit, back again, back to the house, all over the place. It took us probably, 6 years or longer before we actually took a crowbar and an oscillating tool to the structure in the galley. And another 6 months of on-off work before it was fully demolished. Although fully is one of those things like done. I'm not sure that it's been fully demolished. I think I wound up, no, it's all fully demolished. I hope anyway. No, there are parts of the air conditioner that are still there that need to go away. As of now, March 2021, the basic structure for the new galley is done. We've glassed in the new bulkheads. We've sealed off the opening to the lazarette that was actually part of the old ice box that we got rid of back in the 90s when we bought the boat. The new counters have been cut. They've been dry fit about 12 times. We've dry fit the sink. We've even painted the hull, primer and 2 coats of paint. We're in the process of testing lighting. We do have to decide on final lighting in the galley, and we've got to deal with the plumbing. And we're almost ready. We've got 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks maybe, until we move aboard the boat. And the galley definitely needs to be done before we can move aboard. And we just have the punch list. We've got to install the sink for real. We have to run the plumbing. We have to figure out lighting and install the lighting. We have hung the stove, which is super exciting, but we need to figure out the propane system. We think that when we first move on, it's probably going to be a very simple, very rudimentary, because we're not going to have the boxes built. We're not going to have the supports built we're not even going to have the new propane tanks bought yet. We need to actually install the counters. So there's a huge punch list of things. And it sounds like it's a lot of big stuff, which it is, but it's not on the same level as building all that infrastructure. But part of the thing is that so many other projects that are being done on the boat need the basic structure level that doing the finishing touches for this particular one, other than the fact that we move on to the boat in a couple of weeks, doesn't feel quite so critical. Plus, some of those finishing parts mean we need to have other infrastructure in place. In order to finish up the wiring means we need the electrical panel to be done. And yes, I think we just finished painting that. And we did finally drill the holes for the wiring to go through. We do have the engine cover done, although we're still waiting on some more fiddle stock to come in so that we can finish the fiddles, because we can't fit the engine cover until we fit the fiddles on there, because then that's going to mean that the counters can be finalized in place. All of this stuff winds up stacking up together. Projects take forever to start for a lot of reasons. Those couple of years that we spent planning and thinking, those were not wasted moments or wasted time. The planning process takes a long time. There's a big difference between planning and then actually taking the oscillating tool and the crowbar to removing what was there and functional. And then you work like a fiend to get the bulk of the work done, and then only to slow down right at the very end. So yes, the hardest parts of any project, boat or home, are starting and finishing. The messy, gooey middle, that's actually kind of easy. That said, I can't wait until this galley is totally done. And yes, totally is going to be a big thing. Heck, we just ordered the sliders last night. So lots and lots of little details, but I can't wait till it's done. And I'm cooking. And I can cook for you when we share an anchorage somewhere when we're both out there. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We come out twice a week. Carolyn has one episode and I have one episode. And if you don't want to miss any, don't forget to subscribe. We love it when you share us with your friends, and we love it when we hear from you. Let us know what you'd like us to cover. Have the most spectacular week.